Well, look at that. We're back with 5 more things that you should already know in Dota 2. So hopefully these things do help you out. If not, then hopefully they were just interesting to you either way. These are not necessarily things that are going to be incredibly useful, but maybe just interesting things overall. Also, this channel is still fairly new and I am posting content as often as I can. Hopefully there'll be a lot more coming more consistently very soon. So if you enjoy the content, you want to see more stuff like this, as well as things like gameplay highlights and stuff, then do subscribe to the channel. It does help out an absolute ton and is very much appreciated. Otherwise, let's get started. First up was something that I saw discussed on a stream the other day. Now, if anyone can guess, you get extra points if you can find out who the streamer was and put it in the comments, because many of you guys are probably watching this. But Nullifier goes through BKB. They had the discussion on stream and I didn't know this either myself, and so many people were like, no, it doesn't. But if you have BKB active, you can actually cast Nullifier on that target through the BKB. You don't have to pre-cast it like with Halberd or anything like that. So for example, with Ursa here, if we use the Overpower ability and then use BKB, we can then nullify him and remove those stacks even during the BKB. So Nullifier is an incredibly strong item that can be used directly through the BKB. It is not a problem, and it is definitely something that counters Ursa quite a bit, because obviously the difference between being smacked really quickly and being smacked pretty slowly, even with the BKB on, is rather different. Like it really is. Number 2 is a trick that will probably work mostly in like lower to mid-level MMR brackets, but it's still pretty helpful. And that is, if you are versing a Juggernaut and you have an enemy Juggernaut who is going to absolutely murder you with his ultimate, you can actually either bait it before a fight by going invisible after he casts it on you, or you can just avoid it during the fight by going invisible as well. Now, of course, most people will know to get a Yule Scepter or to get a Ghost Scepter or anything like this to try and dodge this, but if you actually have access to an invis, like I said, in lower level games and towards like mid-level games, you can probably get away with this by baiting it a little bit. He's gonna wisen up very quickly for a high-level player, or for like someone who's in a mid-level bracket as well. He'll wisen up pretty quick and get dust. So keep this in mind. But let's take a look. If we ult the Invoker here, and then he goes invis, it is completely wasted. So there is nothing stopping you from going into a lane and actually trying to attack him and making him think that he can just run and ult you. And the second he does, you just go invis and then you leave. And then your whole team can take a fight straight after this. Like I said, again, this is more like a lower level thing because he will get dust at some point. But if you've checked and you know he doesn't have dust, then there's no reason you can't go on him like this. And if he does decide to ult you, just go invis and walk away. Obviously, this will work with other heroes as well if you have access to invis. But Invoker's a good one because for some reason people tend to not assume he'll go invis the second he goes on you. So it works pretty well. I do this quite often. Next up is a couple of ways that did you know that you can kind of counter Void with this rather easily. Even a Void that has a lot of farm, hit the cast time on his Blink, and his Chrono is rather long. It's very much noticeable, and if a Void wants to jump on you in Chrono, you've got a fair amount of time to react to this. So the first way is with the Blink Dagger. So as you're going to see here, I'm going to use my Void to jump in Chrono, and then I'm going to select the other hero, the Invoker here, and blink away in time to make sure it doesn't hit me, which shows you the amount of time you're going to have to react. So if I actually blink him and then Chrono with Void, and then I can teleport away with the Invoker nice and quickly. Now the way I can do this quickly enough is by double clicking my blink rather than trying to target it. If you didn't know, I've mentioned this in a past video, if you double click blink, it will always take you directly towards your fountain no matter what. Like no matter where you are, a double click of the blink will take you back towards your fountain immediately, which can give you a very quick way to dodge projectiles. That being said, as you can see in my inventory here, we have an Aeon disc. So if you are a hero that gets focused by Void a lot in a game and you are the game changer sort of thing, he's going to want to save that Chrono for you. If you can't blink out in time, or if you don't have a blink, or maybe just a hero that wouldn't want to carry one, grab yourself an Aeon disc. It can help you out an absolute ton. This is because when he jumps on you and Chronos and he hits you, it's going to trigger, and then he won't be able to hit you for a little while amount of time. And of course, you would have more health than this because I've got no items on here. But it's going to save you in that Chrono, give you time to get away, to escape. Or what's going to happen, rather than him doing that, is he'll just focus someone else instead. So if we jump in Chrono, and then we hit, as soon as the Aeon disc procs, you're going to see he's going to see no damage, and he's going to go over and hit somebody else, and then you just get the hell out of there. So it is incredibly useful to grab an Aeon disc against a Void, especially if he is the problem in the game and you are the problem that he wants to kill. And there's nothing more satisfying, let's be honest, than when a Void jumps in to Chrono and you just... It is by far one of the most fun things in Dota 2. I absolutely love it. For this next one, we're going to actually allow Void to get his own back just a little bit. So, did you know that you can actually purge the Aeon disc buff or the ability, the actual thing in general, just completely remove the use of it by getting yourself the Witchbane item? If you have the neutral item Witchbane, you can actually use this to your advantage. Of course, it is RNG whether you get it or not, but if you do have it, don't forget to ask your team for it, especially as a Void or anybody who needs to deal with an Aeon disc, because it does actually purge it. It causes a dispel, gets rid of it, and of course, if you trigger it, so for example, we're going to chrono, we're going to hit him, and the second that procs, it didn't proc. Let me do that again. 1 second. I obviously forgot to reset the Aeon disc. That is not good. Okay, so we've reset it. We're going to chrono. We're going to hit them. And the second it procs, we're going to break it, and we're going to carry on killing them, making it nice and easy to get that kill. So grab yourself a Witchbane if the enemy does have a Aeon disc, because you can purge it with it. It is super useful in so many situations. The final thing for this video, and all of it has been done in demo mode for today, apparently, which is actually pretty interesting and nice and easy for me, is as a core hero or any hero in the game, you can actually buy Tomes of Knowledge for your allies. Now, this is useful in a couple of situations, and I do this quite a lot. I really do. It costs 75 gold, is not much whatsoever, right? It is literally a couple of last hits. But for a support who is really struggling, you will boost their morale so damn much by buying them one of these. So if you buy this and you get it on your courier, for example, we're gonna quickly buy one here, and we fly it over, you can then drag this onto your support, and then when it's in there, you just ping them. You just ping them, and it tells them, and then all they're gonna do is immediately go, holy shit, this guy bought me the tome. What's gonna happen in most games is they will see that you buy this, and it'll pop up in the thing, and it'll show that you bought it. Sometimes you're gonna get someone go, what the hell, I need that. But you just say to them, hey, look, I'm already flying it out to you. I bought it for you. It's fine. Their morale is boosted. But the people who don't say anything, they may think it, they may not. But when they get it in their inventory and you ping them, they're going to be like, holy crap, that's, and then they're in a good mood for the rest of the game. But not only that, it's useful in the situations too, where, for example, you have a mid laner who's doing fine, you have a support who is really not doing fine, they really are depending on this tome to stay in the game, and they buy them all out. They're like, oh yeah, let's just buy all of them as soon as they're available, and then they start chomping them back and just going through them, and you're like, what the frick? If this happens, you can then queue up the next one to make sure that you get it, and the second it's available, buy it, and then fly it out to the person who needs it. If you know someone's going to steal these tomes, you know that they're not going to go to the right people and it could be better somewhere else, just buy them yourself, fly over to somebody else that needs it. It boosts their morale, and it's better for your gameplay as well. So yeah, take advantage of this. I do it a lot, and it can make a support who's really struggling incredibly happy, and actually completely change the game. Anyway guys, that does bring us to the end of this video. Hopefully you learned something new or found something interesting. If you did, then don't forget to always hate on the axes of the game, because we absolutely hate them, remember? And other than that, I hope you have an amazing day. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, sub to the channel if you are new, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Frick you, Axe. Like, actually, just completely screw you. See you later, guys. Bye.